watching.
Subscribe.
Hello, you're watching ScreenStalker. My name is Chopper Pete, and this is the movie news. Today's stories include some fascinating stuff about Rocketman and the director's future plans, the X-Men Dark Phoenix ending seemingly being changed due to Marvel, and some details that may reveal the Mandarin's return to the MCU. But before we get into those, make sure to press the thumbs up, subscribe, and enable notifications, and leave us a comment below answering the question of the day, which today is, how would you bring back the Mandarin to the MCU? Firstly though, let's take a look at Rocketman, the biopic of musical legend Elton John. Taron Egerton plays the titular role, and though the movie hasn't released in US theaters yet, European viewings of the movie have garnered some very positive reviews. In an interview with The Guardian, Elton John himself revealed that he had to fight for a long time to make sure the movie was R-rated, as that was the only way to accurately portray the lifestyle he had led. Some studios wanted to tone down the sex and drugs so the film would get a PG-13 rating, but I just haven't led a PG-13 rated life. I didn't want a film packed with drugs and sex, but equally, everyone knows I had quite a lot of both during the 70s and 80s, so there didn't seem to be much point in making a movie that implied that after every gig, I'd quietly gone back to my hotel room with only a glass of warm milk and the Gideon's Bible for company. So it seems to me he lived his life not like a candle in the wind? Maybe? The movie is directed by Dexter Fletcher, who also took over from Bryan Singer on the final 2 weeks of filming on Bohemian Rhapsody due to Singer's firing regarding his ongoing sexual abuse allegations. Considering both musical biopics look to be big successes, attention has turned to who Fletcher would make a movie about next, and in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, it seems that question has been answered. "I'd do Madonna. That sounds like a real roller coaster ride. It would be extraordinary. I don't know how happy she'd be about that idea, but what an extraordinary life that would be. If I was to tackle any other icon like that, it would be her. She's extraordinary. That she is." However, the same word will most likely not be used for upcoming X-Men movie Dark Phoenix. The final installment of the X-Men prequel series, which is also a reboot now, I guess, sees another interpretation of Jean Grey's transformation into the Phoenix, after the same feat was attempted in X-Men The Last Stand. The movie was originally scheduled for a 2018 release, but that was pushed back to February 2019, and then pushed back further to June. There were several reshoots taking place during this time, and in an interview with Yahoo Movies, James McAvoy, who plays Charles Xavier, has revealed why. He stated that the original ending for the movie changed a hell of a lot, and that it had been changed because there was a lot of overlap and parallels with another superhero movie that came out a while ago. However, interestingly, when he said a while ago, he almost seemed to start to say recently before changing tack. Considering it has previously been confirmed that Dark Phoenix was supposed to finish with a big space battle, and recently there's been another superhero movie that ended with a big space battle, there's a few signs pointing to it being Captain Marvel as the force that has changed the movie's ending. On top of this, the Disney-Fox merger was originally reported to begin in November of 2017, which would have been in the post-production of the original release date for Dark Phoenix. So it may have been a case of Disney and Fox execs doing a show and tell, and the Disney boys saying, "You see this part? This part right here, that looks an awful lot like what we've got over here, so better get work on changing that." Now that the Disney-Fox merger has been finalized, we could very well be seeing the X-Men show up in the MCU in the future. However, it's a returning villain that's now been rumored to be confirmed in another Marvel movie. While Avengers Endgame most certainly was the end of the game, at least for my emotions, the MCU train doesn't stop, with Spider-Man Far From Home releasing in cinemas soon, and more Phase 4 movies beginning their production cycles. One of these movies is Shang-Chi, which will be the MCU's first Asian-led superhero movie. Casting calls have now begun for the feature, and while the titular character has yet to be found, some other interesting descriptions for other cast members have been found, and one of them may point to the return of the Mandarin, the villain that never was from Iron Man 3. While the Mandarin never really materialized in Iron Man 3, with Aldrich Killian claiming he was the real Mandarin, a short titled All Hail the King revealed that the real Mandarin Mandarin did in fact exist and was still out there. With a character the movie is looking to cast being described as an Asian male between 40 to 60 years old to play a wise old statesman who is the leader of his people, the signs point to the Mandarin, especially considering Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige recently teased that they had plans for the Mandarin and/or the Ten Rings. Whether or not the Mandarin turns up in Shang-Chi, excitement is still incredibly high for Phase 4 of the MCU, including a Black Widow solo movie and Black Panther 2, as well as Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Let's just hope there's a little less death in Phase 4, shall we? That's all for the movie news today. Press the thumbs up, subscribe, enable notifications, and leave us a comment answering the question of the day. Press the video to my right to be taken to Luke Owen talking about Godzilla, King of the Monsters as well. I've been Chopper Pete, and remember, we're watching.